We're also probably more conscious of language than you would find in other forms of life anywhere in the universe. Timothy Egan keeps track of the worst annoying words, which I think is a pretty unique undertaking. Did you know, for example, that the winner of the most annoying word for the 5th year in a row was the word whatever? You only find this on Earth, you know? It's become an expression signifying ignorance. Placed in a sentence, it will go something like this: Hitler invaded Poland and then whatever. Our words and terms and phrases can change meaning, which is pretty tricky stuff. And the word or phrase that changed most in 2013, in case you're wondering, is 24/7. Remember that word, 24/7? It used to mean always being helpful and available. Now it means bad hours, poor pay, and some customer service rep in India trying to explain an HDMI cable at 3 o'clock in the morning. Could this happen on another planet? I don't think so. I doubt other forms of life have gender differences, or know of love, or have established a high court to determine if love can be confined to opposite gender. I doubt it. I can't imagine other forms of life on planets in distant galaxies establishing a class system, or carrying concealed weapons, or going into therapy. How we deal with being thrown into existence reveals a great deal about who we are and how we come to understand life as we know it. What do we do? We're thrown here. So what do we do with it? Which makes it feel odd, I believe, that we as the only human beings in the universe choose to go to places like Planet Hollywood in Las Vegas in order to see Britney Spears in a gothic dominatrix outfit, swarmed by vampire dancers inside a ring of fire on top of a rolling pyramid. This is what we're doing with life. It seems a little peculiar, let alone Britney Spears. I'm not going to go there. When I look at just this past year, 2013, I see tragic evidence of how a planet with unique human forms of life, sailing through vast space and solitude, how it can threaten its own existence with war and the intent to kill and maim. I mean, this past year demonstrated how wars in Syria, Egypt, the Sudan, Afghanistan reflect this disturbing penchant to destroy the life that we know. And then you add to the mix this past year the Boston Marathon bombing, the Westgate shopping mall massacre in Kenya. And how do we make sense of 1,100 deaths in Bangladesh, garment workers locked into their sweatshop with no exit, while the factory burned to the ground? And all the while, multinational textile industries refuse to make any concession to improve conditions for the workers, failing to compromise their profit margin by pennies even. How do we come to understand this life as we know it? alone in the universe, yet compelled to make this brief visit on a terrestrial planet covered mostly with salt water, compelled to make it a living hell. And then, of course, our treatment of the earth itself makes the extinction of life almost inevitable. And where's our sense of wonder, awe, appreciation? What about the responsibility that we carry here, floating through the universe? Life. What do we do with this life? Now, existentialism is passé, I know. We've moved on to other philosophies and perspectives and ways to contemplate the universe. But you know, I can't help but return to the angst raised by pondering both the absurdity of our being here at all and a universe so indifferent to us, and yet it just seems to carry us along. I think that Jean-Paul Sartre got it right in his play, written in 1944, No Exit. It begins with a valet leading a man into a room that the audience soon recognizes is hell. Right? This guy's in hell. Eventually, he's joined by two other women. And after their entry, the valet leaves, and the door is shut and locked. All three expect to be tortured, but no torture arrives. Instead, they realize that they are there to torture each other, which they do effectively by probing each other's sins and desires. No exit. I wonder, somehow maybe, if we're in search of a new habitable planet because we are looking for an exit. We have created a hell on earth. And despite Camus' example of Sisyphus to somehow persevere beyond life's absurdity, we still somehow dream of escaping from all that we have mangled and botched in the solitary world. So science offers a very serious rationale for wanting to get us out of here. Science explains Earth will become uninhabitable long before the sun burns out. Earth's core will cool off, and volcanoes, which restore the atmosphere, will cease. The amount of carbon dioxide will fall to levels too low to support photosynthesis. So this serves as a convincing explanation for making an exit. But I think what might also be operable here is an effort to give life as we know it another chance to do better, to somehow offer an harmonious existence somewhere else. And so I wonder, have we given up on this planet? So on clear nights, as we look up at the stars and swallow some seminal understanding of the vastness in which we seem to just be floating along, the question of meaning and purpose are, to say the least, perplexing. Perhaps I'm too easily content, but I feel that there is a certain beauty in just being here, even if what brought me here is purely random, a mere cluster of chemical accidents. The search for other forms of life elsewhere makes me marvel even more at the strong likelihood that humanity is a unique accident throughout the cosmos. Humanity is not life, humanity is the accident. You know, I got to go with the scientists who say, you know, there is life on other planets, and all I can say is, well, whatever. I mean, you know. But humanity, people, human beings, folks like you and I, a humanity that struggles with the absurdity of being here at all. It's pretty unique. Finding ourselves alone, trying really hard to create meaning somehow. Through poetry, perhaps, art, music. And so when looking at the universe away from the city's light pollution, do we link meaning to a divine plan, or do we struggle to make of this all some meaning for ourselves, realizing that we've been thrown here in some random way? Well, I think that we might all agree that it is not an either-or. But as long as there are creative forces inside life as we know it, love, imagination, conscience for having acted in a way we wish we hadn't, that perhaps there is something that transcends the purely harsh view of our existence as mere chance. This is what makes us religious beings. We need not subscribe to a divine plan with appointed real estate lurking magically somewhere in the heavens in order to be religious. But we can embrace the randomness of it all, and even the absurdity of this chance civilization upon a remote planet, a planet that will die sometime. We can embrace that as religious people. But the idea that we might take life seriously enough to make adjustments to our errant ways, change. 5 billion years of solitude, and look at us, we're still contemplating change. Doesn't that offer us a glimpse of something divine? That meaning might be found somehow among the chaos, and the hope of vanquishing cruelty towards one another persists. Does this not give us meaning? So it's a new year. The sun won't die out just yet. Volcanoes will not cease tomorrow. We still have some time, probably lots of time, to get it right. We're committed to doing precisely that. So as our astronomers look for life on other planets, we need to remind ourselves of the essential, fundamental questions. What is life? What have we done with life on this planet? And will life, as we know it, be worth preserving on another habitable planet far away? Some questions for the new year. So be it.